Okay, I think we are live, Charlie. Welcome, everybody. This is Visokii Entertainment. As Melissa says, it's been too long. I agree, Melissa. It has been too long. Can we just say, Charlie, shout out to Hunter. Hunter was in here
Yo, Hunter,
at
my guy, man.
10:56. He's in here at 10:56. He was ready to go. Duke of Derps says hype. Garrett is in here. Garrett hopping in. I love it, man. So, Charlie, we had a premiere. This, to my knowledge, was kind of the first time that we attempted a fully live premiere. Yeah, or at least it was very noticeable because of all these
Especially,
glitches.
because they seem to not count Big Brother Over the Top, and that was way different. But yeah, I mean, this is awesome. It was, it was live TV, and it had some malfunctions at the junction, but
As Funky Monkey says, that was a mess, and it was great.
The Have Nothing was pretty good.
Yeah, I was messaging Monkey today, and he was like, "Man, I wish it wasn't so long." Which, by the way, there's a quick shout out at Visokii Tweets, so spelled the same way like Visokii Entertainment, the channel at Visokii Tweets. If you send us a DM or tag us in something, that's literally the only Twitter that I use. So it's basically the channel / my personal Twitter. So I always get all the notifications. DMs are always open, stuff like that. So anyway, let's get into it, Charlie. We got some hype. Can I just say quick shout out to everyone in chat? Like I said, we got Fume in here. We got Zach in here, Libby, Damien. Like, I love it, man. I love all the regulars plus some new people. If you are just now tuning into our channel for the first time, I'm going to say it at the end again. I'm not one to pump a bunch of likes and stuff like that, but just make sure that you guys are hitting us with the follow and turn the notification bell on, because sometimes it won't tell you. You won't even know that we're live unless you get the notification. Yeah, so Libby says the season's going to be so good. Charlie, agree, disagree?
I am definitely looking forward to it after tonight. There's a couple names that I feel like maybe shouldn't. I don't know. It feels like they kind of scraped the bottom of the barrel a little bit, but I think they get made up for some other really good names.
Yeah, and that actually leads me into the very first thing that I want to talk to you about, Charlie. The question is, and chat, please, if you haven't noticed, we love reading chat, responding to questions, throwing your names up there and answering stuff, especially since when we get on these long nights where we're up and it's a live HOH, we follow along with all the live HOH. Sometimes I'll poke in the feeds for like 2 seconds. We don't want to get taken off YouTube or anything, but we will we'll be up until they're up. And I'm a teacher, so let me tell you, being up on Thursday nights going into a Friday, especially when we've got pandemic, education year going on right now. It's tough for me too. So I like having you guys here to hang out. So Charlie, the first question: do you have an issue calling this season All-Stars? And I'll preface it by saying we have 4 people that have finished 11th or worse. So really, like, not close, jury. So Bailey and Kaser have finished 11th or worse. And we have 2 people on the season that have gotten evicted first in their season. That's David and Davon. Do you and when paired in with people that arguably got carried, even though they may have finished high in, the Christmas, Enzo, Memphis, do you think that all of the people in this cast are deserving of All-Stars?
Yeah, I think everyone has their own reason for it to be an All-Star. They put together a nice cast. When you got to consider all things. We know Paul, Dan, and Derek all declined, so that puts a hit on some of the guys.
And like
Vanessa
we said,
just
that's
had
a
a kid.
reason for Cody and Memphis to be in there, because those are the duos with the guys. And maybe they were supposed to be in there. Maybe CBS wanted more duos in the house, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, certain things. I really feel like we also know Josh and Casey did fly out, but they got COVID, so they weren't put on the show. So that's what makes me think. I don't know. The only 2 that feel like stretches to me for different reasons. One is Christmas, because season 19 was a complete disaster. None of us want to re-experience that, especially if you were with us on the channel.
Agreed.
And like And at the same time with her, I understand she's got this comeback story. You know, she's better now. She's a mom now. Her leg's good. And then, like we just said, Memphis. I mean, Memphis got smoked 7-0 in the final against Dan. It felt like since they couldn't get Dan, they pulled in his, you know.
Yeah. And Memphis even admitted, he said everyone says that he got, you know, played by Dan, and he didn't really deny it. Someone that's really polarizing this year. I see a couple people, Max and Fume. David gonna bounce back. Thoughts on David? Charlie, what's your opinions on putting someone in here who is so recent? I don't think anyone thinks that David is an amazing player, but we saw that David really wanted to play hard in the game, and he just kind of got bit by the twist. Do you think
he never got the chance? Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna sink or swim in this Shark Tank?
I might be wrong, but I think David is the youngest person in the house. I would have to check that, but
younger than Nicole.
I believe so. I believe either David, because David was like 22, 23 last year. So yeah. This is the oldest cast in the history of Big Brother, by the way. Well, Big Brother US, and I'm excited about David myself. I think I'm with a lot of people last year, and we said this last year. You know, he was sent home first on a twist and never got a chance. And he walked in that house, and it felt like he had a better read on it in 15 minutes than some people did in 3 weeks.
He did. He came back in with a clear mind. It's like, have you ever been doing a word search in school or whatever, and you just can't find a word, and your buddy walks over and is like, dude, it's right there. That's the way it felt when David came back into the house. Also, any mention of Raven or Matt, and I'm going to have a mental breakdown. So let's stop that in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, season 19, I'm surprised they even touched it. That's what surprised me about Christmas being on the show. That was another thing. As we saw, they didn't touch season 15. They didn't touch season 9. There was a lot of Big Brothers represented tonight, though, which is cool to see. I'm glad, you know, as we saw Cody mention K-SAR, as he said.
K-SAR.
You know, they dug deep for that one, man. Cody.
K-SAR. And that's fine. I mean, did you watch K-SAR's original season? I know you watched 7, but did you watch 6?
Yep, okay. I did watch 6. I watched 7. And I even watched 10 with Memphis and Keisha. That's so glad Keisha's brought back. That's such a great pick.
That was a great choice, and a lot of people don't really remember Keisha all that much, other than like she said, the birthday party. So that's good. Let's get to a couple things in chat really quick. So Funky Monkey says Tyler and Nicole are 25. They're the youngest.
That makes sense. Tyler does look really young.
Yeah,
he still looks really young. Also,
hello to Brianna, Veracity popping in here. Man, I love seeing so many people coming back. This is great.
Welcome back, everyone.
I know. I love this is great. The season's going to be interesting, finally. Yeah, I think no matter what, it's going to be interesting. So in my opinion, Charlie, I think I listed off a bunch of people that you can make cases that they're not all-stars. However, we have Cody, Danielle, Ian, Janelle, Keisha, both Nicoles, Tyler, and Kevin, who I consider very, very strong players in the past.
Kevin had a very underrated game.
Yeah, that's the thing. People saying that Kevin just kind of was floating the whole time. He was the making deals in the background type of person, which that's fine. You could make the same case for Cody. That's why people that think that Cody got carried are insane, in my opinion. You can't say that Christmas and Cody are in the same boat whatsoever.
And Veracity just made a great point. Even the first All-Stars wasn't All-Stars. You guys remember Chicken George? Come on now, Nokomis. I'll give her credit where it's due. She did come up with the whole backdoor thing, but that was, hey.
Yeah.
Chicken George was on that show. I don't think we have a Chicken George on this season.
So we have, for the most part, for the far majority, this is a lot of people's second time playing the game, which is good that it's only their second time. Now, in your opinion, we have 3 people that are playing the game for the third time. That's Nicole F., K-SAR, and Danielle. And we have Janelle playing for her 4th time. How many times is too much, Charlie? And do you think in the case of, Janelle and K-SAR, Danielle, Nicole's really the only recent-ish one?
I think Devon's also 3 times.
Oh, that's true. Devon is 3 times. You're right. So we have 4 people that have played now 3 times and one person has played 4. Do you think that's too many? Do you think CBS should cut it off after 2 or 3 or whatever?
You know, I probably in the past would have said maybe that was too many, but you look at shows like The Challenge where they got some of the same people on every season. You know, Janelle's going to pull people in, and everyone else that was on, Davon, Nicole, Danny, they're all going to pull people in. So why not? Kaser, you know, it's fine. It's better than pulling in some, some really random people that no one's ever heard of or care about.
Agreed. So Pedantic says coasting, not floating. Floaters float from one alliance to another. Coasters have a 3-month vacation. Yeah, the Victorias of the world where she just didn't realize how lucky she was to be linked up with the person she was linked up with. Which, going on that, Zach said, I'm glad Cody basically admitted he got played by Derek and should have picked Victoria. Yeah, I think that
I kind of like Cody tonight. I liked it. He seemed like he knew that where people had an issue with his game.
And Hunter makes a good point about Janelle. It's Janelle. She gets people to watch. Yep. As Veracity said, if people demand it, why not? Going with Cody, I think it'll be interesting, Cody and Nicole being in the same house again. But maybe this is the unpopular opinion because a lot of people love this aspect of the show. People love showmances, right? People love showmances. But with an older cast, a more experienced cast, and a lot of these people have gotten married, had kids, so on and so forth. Are you excited to see what will probably be a more strategic game that doesn't involve all of this flirting?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a single showmance. I think everyone is just about like either with a partner or, like you said, married.
Yeah. Damien says, why was Julie going so in-depth explaining how Big Brother works? This is something that she always seems to do at the beginning of the year, and I think she was filling a little more with all the technical difficulties this year. But the thing is, there's a lot of new eyes on Big Brother, and I look at this the same way I look at sports right now, where like when WWE, Charlie's got the Fiend thing up. Like, even though a lot of people weren't watching professional wrestling, a few months ago they might have flipped it on just because it was the only sporting event, quote unquote, that was on. It was the only really like semblance of athleticism if you didn't want to watch golf, showcase golf matches with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. And now when we have sports back, I mean, I'm finding myself watching random Trailblazers Pelicans games when I really didn't care about either team. So a lot of people are craving some sort of live television that they in other ways can't get.
Yeah, and I think you're going to have a lot of eyes on tonight that maybe haven't been before. And I don't want to – I mean, it's probably in the thousands, people coming over from the challenge. Because, look, Davon already became a big name on the challenge. And, we, obviously Big Brother gets like 8 times the views that show does, maybe even more. I can't remember. But it's things like that. You're going to have a lot of new eyes tonight. And people hearing that it's an All-Stars like, oh, maybe this is a reason for me to check out this show.
Well, and what's big with All-Stars is that a lot of people think that if people turn on an All-Stars season and they don't know the people, that will actually be a turn off of the show. It's the complete opposite. CBS can use this as an opportunity where if I'm watching this season, it's my first season of Big Brother, and I really love Ian's game. I really liked Ian tonight. I thought I don't know, I might end up rooting for the guy. So if people really like Ian's game this year, they might sign up for CBS All Access. That way they can go back and watch these old seasons and watch Ian. And then all of a sudden, however many seasons we have covered with all these All-Stars, this gives people something. If they sign up for CBS All Access, give CBS their money. This gives them something to do for the rest of the summer or whatever it may be.
Yeah, perfect way to put it.
Funky Monkey says, are you guys going to do a draft video? Yes, we are. We'll probably end up recording one tomorrow. So that's not saying that it will be up tomorrow, but we'll probably record within the next few days, and that'll just kind of be it won't be a live thing. It will just, but make sure to tune into that. If you haven't seen that from last year, I almost hesitate to advertise it because we all got crushed. But the way that it works, there are 16
destroyed us.
Yeah, there are 16 house guests, and we're just gonna RNG it, and we'll do it serpentine style. If you've ever played video games with like the draft, so let's say Charlie picks first. He will select one house guest that he thinks is going to do well in the game. Go far. And then if I pick second, and then Garrett picks third, then the viewers will get pick 4 and 5. And then we'll go reverse. Then it'll be Garrett, and then me, and then Charlie. We do that till all the house guests are picked, and then we'll do a point system. So whoever gets eliminated first gets 1 point. Eliminated second, 2 points. Whoever gets the most points at the end of the year ends up winning. And we got crushed by the viewers last year because they had the winner, runner-up, and like 5th and
third place.
Yeah,
they literally had the top 3.
Ooh, Charlie, I have a comment that you probably agree with. Were you hoping for Zach?
That would have been nice, yeah. But I think Zach burned his bridge with CBS a long time ago.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Damien says that the Nicoles don't align. It'll be a waste. In all honesty, I just hope one of them gets voted out early. That way we can just say Nicole. Is that bad?
No, if you're Cody, do you put the winners on the block? Is that the right thing to do?
I think it is the right thing to do. Especially,
but there's 2 winners, right? Or am I missing up? It's Nicole and Ian, correct? Are the 2 winners?
Yes. There was someone else that won too, right? Wasn't there someone that maybe not? Yeah, that's it. So the 2 winners. That's an easy target. So who are your easy targets right now? We can't really go with the old guy, old girl, because we have a lot of older people in this year's cast.
I think Cody's just got to go he's got to go with who he thinks is the top in the house, which I feel like an easy one has to be Ian. You have to put Ian up, and if not, maybe Ian and Tyler.
There's no way he doesn't put
Tyler
up.
Did.
Listen, if he thinks Nicole is going to be a threat to him after their history, he can use her being. I think she's the guaranteed person on the block. She's a winner, and with their history, she's an easy person for him to be like, oh, she was a winner.
Yeah. Few makes a good point. Christmas is the easy target. She just won the 5K. Sure. If that's how cool would it be if he puts the winners up? I would be so up for that.
That would be good. Here's the thing with the first couple weeks of Big Brother, and it's always like this. The HOH or HOHs, whatever they're doing for twists and stuff, all they need is one small excuse. That's why you've seen in the past the HOH, especially when they don't know each other. This year's a little different, but when it's all people that have never met each other before, they're like, well, these are the first 2 people I got out in the first HOH competition, so it's only fair. And then one of them goes home, and that's it. You didn't even really get to compete.
Yeah.
So Hunter says people might be intimidated by Janelle. I mean, yes. I'm not the biggest Janelle fan. I mean, she made a huge move getting Dan out. That was the biggest thing. She even said that was the biggest thing that she was known for. Was she finally, out puppet mastered the puppet master. Yep. But I don't think Janelle should be seen as a huge threat, especially since she was so physically dominant compared to the rest of the women in her seasons. Now she's a little older. If you're looking at a physical threat, you got to probably give it to Christmas.
No longer the one-legged Christmas.
Yeah. Something that I want to point out to everybody. If you do not remember what Danielle Donato looked like last time she was playing Big Brother, she was super, super thin. She got a lot of slack online from people, and she just looked unhealthy both of the times that she played. And it was really encouraging to see how in shape she got, how she took it serious. She put on weight in a good way and looks very healthy. And I was glad to see that she looks healthy, and she looks younger now than she did in her second season, in my opinion.
What if Christmas breaks her leg again?
We're not putting that into the universe. I don't want an energy, or I don't want bad vibe.
That would be bad luck on her part, man. That would seriously be some bad luck.
Funky Monkey brings up something. I'm really worried about the twist this season. We talked about this when we were just like hanging on Xbox the other night, Charlie. As an all-star season, I want there to be as little crazy stuff as possible. I want this to just let the strategy play out. Maybe you have a different perspective on this, and twists always make the game more fun for the casual viewers, especially if it's their first time seeing a season. But I just want to let them play. Like, why not go back to whatever it was, season 3? Is that when they started the veto? Just go back to that simple HOH veto vote out every single week unless it seems like someone's running the game too much.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the twists don't overpower the game, as long as someone doesn't get the safety suite, last thing we need is Tyler to get the safety suite and be safe for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah. I want to stay away from fan votes unless it's like they used to vote on a luxury food item to give the have-nots. Sure, why not?
Give them pork rinds.
That's what they did. I think they voted on that one time. Pork rinds. Libby said, I'm so glad there wasn't a night 1 eviction. Agreed. Do you like the new setup they got? I do. I think it's good. It works. Rusty said too many twists that give safety away for free. I would agree. And with the technical glitches tonight, if you are watching Big Brother for the first time, or someone that is, and they think that everything is a show, just because of all the technical glitches night 1, especially the fiasco where, as a teacher, I was looking at it and laughing and getting angry for Julie because I've been there before because I made this mistake. When Julie is like, welcome the house guest, and she makes them all excited, and she thinks that they're not going to stand up and scream and hug each other instead of sitting down like good children. I was laughing because it literally reminded me of my middle schoolers.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I think I agree with Damien here. Cody putting up both winners would definitely kick off All-Stars. They'll have to play the game. Do you see anyone? Do you have an inkling that there's anyone in this cast that just isn't going to play, Charlie, that their game is going to be to not play? They're going to be the stereotypical, I'm just going to cook and be on everyone's good side and make it to 4th place?
Honestly, not really, no, unless it's Nicole A, maybe her, or the only one we got that impression from in the video package was Ian, but there's no way. I think Ian, I mean, we might look back at this and Ian might not be nominated for the next 2 months, but I think he's going to be thrown to the wolves quick because if you know anything about, you have to put him up. To me, he is the easiest target because he beat Dan Giesling 6-1. You had to do something right to do that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, spiteful jury. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to make this go crazy long. We got to go watch the Hawks anyway, right? So this is just a little intro. I'm excited. I hope that all of you guys are excited. Charlie, we've been so hyped for this. Charlie was sending me snaps. Yeah. He's like, today's the day. And then he was like, 6 hours to go. And he's like, less than an hour to go. And I've been hyped for it. And I'm exhausted from pre-planning week and organizing my chairs so that they're 6 feet apart and that no kid can cough on me when they take their mask off to sneeze and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really excited for the chat right now. What?
Yeah, I very much too. In the chat right now, guys, tell us if you were in Cody's shoes, who would you put up?
Yeah, give us 2 names right now. I want to know.
Zach Bryant says put Ian and Nicole up.
I think that's the easy picks.
I'm assuming he means Nicole F, the winner.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, guys, we're going to have to try and do that for now. Unless one of them gets a nickname for some reason.
Something that
Mickey last year.
Something that's worth noting, I don't think there's any way that they send David home early. He's so recent.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like David's a very likable person.
Enzo and Janelle.
Yeah, if Cody wants to go after some of the older house guests, maybe he doesn't vibe with them.
I think they might.
Nicole F.
I think I might put up Memphis and Janelle if you're looking to put up older players. I think knowing that the two of them will work together.
Come back to back, Nicole and Janelle. Nicole seems to be the obvious one.
Yeah.
Nicole and Christmas.
Ian and someone, says Donna. Yeah. So
Ian and Tyler, I couldn't agree more with that.
Yep. I thought Nicole and Cody had a romance. They did, and then they didn't.
Now they're both partnered up.
Yeah, now they're both cuffed. So we make the joke, man. But if Cody and Nicole were to like do like a weird flirty thing with each other, God,
oh, that would be bad.
It'd be really bad.
There'd be some bad news coming out of this season.
Fume, do not speak it into existence.
Please, no.
Don't beat that guy. Anyway, I appreciate we've had nearly 30 people watching concurrent this whole time, and as you guys hopefully saw, we're going live like basically right after every live episode. If there's something big that happens as well during the week, because we're going to be feeds watching. Charlie's usually up pretty late. I'm usually up pretty early on the weekends. So I'm the guy that's flipping it on to see if anyone's up really late at, 8 a.m. my time, Eastern time, which is like 5 their time. They're up late. Charlie's up late when they're talking strategy. So if we see or hear of anything big that happens, we will go live. So, yeah. Who's going to be a bigger comp beast, Tyler or Cody? It'll be a heck of a duel.
Start easily.
I can't pick one. So, Christine vibes of Nicole and Cody happen. Oh my God. So anyway, any final thoughts, Charlie?
Let's just hope it's a good season, and live feeds will be live at 2 a.m. Eastern after the West Coast premiere. So I'm sure some of you guys will be checking that out. And hey, night one feed, something we've all pretty much always wanted to actually see these bonds happen.
Live at 2:30 Eastern. I will not be awake.
Yeah, no.
You took a nap, right? Are you doing it, Charlie?
I attempted to take one, never happened. But
game troll 2:30 Eastern time is when the feeds are scheduled to go live. So yeah. Anyway, make sure to follow us on Twitter. Send a DM. Tell Charlie that his AVI is sexy. Got a notification. Tyler just followed me. Appreciate you. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click that little bell so you know when we go live. And until next time, guys. See ya.